Hello, Steeler Nation. Welcome back to Stryker's Inside Slant. I apologize. I was traveling in Florida. I was traveling in West Virginia. And finally am back in Maryland, able to do my podcast again. And what a difference 2 weeks make, because we got 3 quick losses awfully quickly in those 11 days, which sucked. The worst 11-day stint of my Steeler career. But hopefully the Steelers can change it around and have their first playoff win in, geez, how many years is this? I actually have to look this up to see how many years it's been since we won in the playoffs. Let's see. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 2016 when we advanced to the conference championship. The last time we advanced to the conference championship 7 years ago. We have not had a playoff win. How are the injury front looking this week? We're looking pretty damn good on the injury front. And that's the first thing I at least wanted to touch base on today. And where did I slide that to? Here it is. Pittsburgh Steelers. The only person who did not practice today was Isaac Seumalo, and that's an injury rest. So he will be playing this week. Oh, goodness. That is for last week. I got to go to the wild card. The wild card. Now I've got the stuff. Still, I was right. Isaac Seumalo resting today. Should still be playing. Also, Cam Hayward resting with an illness. There is no way that Cam Hayward will miss this game. Zero chance. You and I both know that. Cam will be on the field. We had a couple people limited today. Mason McCormick, the guard, with his hand. We heard he broke his hand. Sounds like he's going to be playing with a club this game. Might affect his handwork in the game, but he's been playing fantastic for us in that right guard slot. Michael Pruitt, also the special teams ace, and fourth string tight end, has bumped up his knee. He was limited today as well. So we will have to see if those guys are going to play, but the rest of the people were full participants. Calvin Austin back from the groin injury that he missed last week. Logan Lee as well, defensive tackle. Cole Holcomb, the linebacker, is back, full practice. Dante Jackson, full practice. And Roman Wilson, full practice with that hamstring. We'll have to see if either of them get activated from injured reserve this week. Roman Wilson has a shot. Cole Holcomb has a shot. We'll have to see if that actually comes to fruition. Over here on the Ravens side, Zay Flowers hurt his knee. He was out, did not practice. We'll have to see if that holds because he is their best player. He missed the whole last half of that game. Big deal if he can't play. Kyle Hamilton, arguably one of their best players on defense, limited with that knee. They've been undefeated since they moved him to free safety from strong safety. Deontay Hardy, their wide receiver, had a full practice. Justin Hill, their running back, is in concussion protocol, it looks like, and he was limited, so he has not cleared protocol as of yet. So that is our injury situation. Guys, it is your show. Even though it's got my name on it, it's your show. It's our live show. We're going to go to you guys, see how we're doing. Robert, the first one on. I saw you up there before I even started my show from Houston. Good to hear from you as always, Robert. How you been, my friend? What's your question? Has there ever been a worse offensive game plan? Yes. Yes, there has. Matt Canada and Randy Fichtner did not expect to see this out of Smith at all. We have looked listless. We have had zero changes to try to get anything to move or anything to go. And sure, yeah, I understand our offense is going to flounder without George Pickens. But now that we have George Pickens back, it's still floundering. I told you it was going to flounder without Deontay Johnson. And then we lose George Pickens and Deontay Johnson. Just think about that from last year. Can't move the ball. We have to go tight end heavy in these situations, honestly. Get the tight ends the ball. Because these guys on wide receiver are not catching the balls. Van Jefferson should be getting open more than he is. Mike Williams should be utilized more than he is. And Wilson should be active. Because that's the only guy that can get open short on this roster currently. Because Miles Austin has 1 or 2 good games a season. That's it. That's all we get out of Miles Austin. That's what he is. That's what he's always going to be. And that's what I have him locked in as. Potential, could be a good player, but is never going to be a consistent player. He is boom or bust Unfortunately, he is more bust than boom. Kenny Beamer, let's go! Thank you, Kenny Beamer. Always good to hear from you, my friend. Michael, Hall of Fame. We are live. Let's go, Stryker. Let's go, Michael, Hall of Fame. Glad to have you back as well. How is Zay Flowers doing? Like we said, I just made the rundown. I know you typed that before I went through the injury list, but could not finish the game last game. He's their biggest guy that they're worried about. And they picked up Deontay Johnson specifically because they were worried about anything happening to Zay Flowers. What happened? Deontay Johnson happened. He went scuttlebutt in that locker room. He's now a Houston Texan. He'll be playing against the Chargers this weekend, but he sure as heck won't be playing for Baltimore. I know Likely had a good game against us. He looked pretty good last week as well. They had a young guy playing when Zay went down who did okay, but he's no Zay Flowers. Zay is easily the best wide receiver on the field, even if George Pickens is playing. I like him that much. Andre Green, hey there, Stryker. Let's go, Steelers. Let's go, Andre. You seem familiar. You look like a new name, but you seem familiar to me, my friend. Good to hear from you. Let me know whatever you got going on, whatever questions you have. Michael, whoever put together our back half schedule successfully made us miserable, let alone AFC North rivals and Chiefs, Eagles, and Bengals. You know, it sucked. And I'll tell you the only aspect to me that really sucked was the 3 games in 11 days. That's the one that sucked. Rest of it was very manageable. And I thought it was as good as that schedule could be with a brand new offense and brand new quarterbacks. I wanted that easier front half schedule. So hopefully we could get rolling here at the end of the season. Unfortunately, now we're regressing. Russell Wilson doesn't look downfield anymore. He's too busy looking straight in front of him and turtling before he can even get 3 seconds down. I don't know what the hell happened to Moore, but Moore is useless at left tackle right now. Absolutely useless. He's making every single defensive edge player in our division look like an all-pro. He is horrible. I can't wait for him to leave in free agency. So hopefully Jones can come over and be that left tackle that we need and is not ruined by being a right tackle for the last 2 years. The way the Steelers have been ruining offensive linemen, playing them out of position. Hopefully we get him back in the position that we need him to be in so we can have Fontenot playing on that right side and have 2 excellent bookends moving forward. Michael Hall, we blew the AFC North after we beat the Bengals the first time around. Had a 4-game lead and we choked and gave it away. Only needed 1. That one Baltimore game. We won that Baltimore game. We won the division. Couldn't do it. Haven't won since. Haven't won since that Bengals game. My cat is laughing her butt off right here below me, since she is a Bengals fan, telling me, oh, what's wrong here? Your little Steeler team can't win, meow, meow. Oh, that must suck, meow, meow. Well, enjoy no playoffs and your MVP caliber quarterback that can't win. Unless it's against your team, meow, meow. Knock it off! Don't want to hear that crap. Robert, turn Roman Wilson loose. I'm hoping for everything in my being that they play him this week. Absolutely. And do they play him? He better start. Because all of our other ex-receivers are crap. Absolute crap. Zay is day to day. Good call. Didn't finish the game. Did not practice today. Not looking good for Zay. For a Zay day on Saturday. We'll have to see if he can get in the game. But thank you very much for your opinion there, Oma. Appreciate it. Robert, did you mean Calvin Austin being hit and miss? Yes. Did I say a different Austin, Miles Austin? I probably, or did I say my buddy here? Because we have an Austin right here on that's usually on the show as well. But either way, yes, I meant Calvin Austin the third. You're right. Thank you so much, Cooley. Appreciate you. That's why you moderate SteelerNation.com. Guys, go over to www.SteelerNation.com. Join the football forum. It is free and fun. You get to talk at the buttholes like Cooley and myself. Robert C. goes by Cooley. He's a moderator over there. I am a participant, contributor as Stryker, and you can find me over there as well if you like to chat football. Get the lead out when you can't get it out live here on this show. we can always get it out over there as well. Hello, how you doing? Definitely use Pickens as a decoy if he has no motivation to catch the effing ball. You have to spot that. I want to go back here over to SteelerNation.com since I just mentioned it. I had a question there by Blitz. George Pickens looked like a guy who didn't want to be on the field last week. What happens with him? Since you both had similar questions, I wanted to do that here, Lowell. So, yes, George Pickens is a problem. He's a problem because he did not get involved in the game. They played him physically. Sometimes he does not do as well when he's played overly physical, and they're not calling it. What do they need to do? They need to get him involved early and often. Screen plays, bubble screen, quick slant, comeback play, quick out. Just get him the ball in his hands so he starts getting the feel of the game so he can make those bigger plays downfield, because he just couldn't make those plays for us last week. He really couldn't. He had the opportunity to. I thought he had a good play on the one where he put his hands up late. Defender did an excellent job of knocking that ball out. Sometimes defenders make plays, guys. Watch the games. Sometimes the defenders make plays, and sometimes they make excellent plays. That was an excellent play on him on the sideline, left sideline. Don Lillipod, how you doing, Don? The game plan needs to be less predictable. Stale as hell. Absolutely. This looks like past 4 weeks have looked like a Fichtner Canada offense. Listless, no real motivation to do anything, trying to run the football but can't, and then having to throw on 3rd and longs, which they can't. Anything over a 3rd and 8 is a miracle throw now, unless we complete one of those rainbow shots, moon ball, whatever it is. That's it. That's our offense. Our offense is a Mark Malone offense. You guys haven't seen this since 1986. Cooley remembers. I know Ian remembers if he's up and about. I know the other Robert remembers as well. Tamburo. But 1984 to 1986. Run, deep pass. Hopefully, Dwight hands a stone, catches one. That was our offense, and that's why we sucked. And this is looking a lot like a mid-84 Pittsburgh Steelers offense. Michael Hall. I'm going to throw it out there, but do we start Fields Saturday night? A lot of you guys have been asking too, and I think I had a question over at SteelerNation.com too that was asking about Fields and Warriors 42. How short of a leash should they have on Wilson, if any, if things start to go south on Saturday? Now, here's the aspect. It was the first Ravens game where we actually put Fields in a position on the field, which is at the start of a drive, near midfield, around the 40-yard line. He ripped off like 9 yards, hurt his abdomen on that play. But that looked like the start of the Steelers trying to throw Fields on the field to kind of like churn up that offense, give them a spark, being able to do these kinds of things. He's been hurt since. He hasn't really had a chance to come back on the field and make a play since. He's supposed to be healthy this week. I hope we start utilizing him a bit more. And I honestly hope the Steelers go to that option to start a drive in the first half, like Tamburo's been asking for as well, if Russell's showing nothing. You got to do something. And honestly, those 4th and 1s, 3rd and 1s, Russell, you're off the field. Those are Fields plays now, and they need to be. And if the offense coordinator isn't smart enough to do it, show him the door and get a new one for next year, because this crap ain't working. Robert, I jinxed the Steelers Saturday. When the last drive started, I pulled up the Texans ticket site to order my playoff tickets, and then Russ missed Pickens badly on that deep ball. Yeah, that stinks. Thanks for doing that for us. No, I'm kidding. It's not your fault, my friend. It sucked for all of us, and I wish you had your Houston Texans tickets, because you're right there in town. You would have been watching them right down the road from you there, Cooley. I couldn't ask for anything better to have a true Steeler Nation or at a game in Houston in the playoffs when it matters. And honestly, Houston was our best chance of winning a game on the road. Not saying we would, but it was our best chance. Michael Hall. I was hoping we would play Monday night in wild card. We play better Mondays under Mike. Oh, well, is what I just to hope for the best. We have to, Michael Hall. It's another Saturday game. It's another Saturday night game. Hopefully, we can find a way to do it. But if there's ever an opponent that we need to know that isn't Houston that we have to have a chance of beating, it's Baltimore. There's no way we're going to go to Buffalo and win with this team. Not with the way they're playing. And that's the oddest thing because we are healthy again. Dante Jackson's back. So why are we losing? Why is the defense looking like trash? Absolute garbage. I mean, I know Joe Burrow's a great quarterback. I know Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. I know freaking Mahomes is a great quarterback. But damn it, defense has to do something. We paid that defense to do something, and they're not doing anything. So that's what we need to start happening real quick. Donnie Gray, they clinched a playoff spot after week 13. Explain how that is backing in. Makes sense. Because we haven't won a game since. What did we win? One game since week 13? That's backing into the playoffs. 4 straight losses is backing into the playoffs. Now, I will give you a little glimmer of hope, Steeler Nation. Because I'm an optimist, as everyone here knows. There was a year, not too long ago, back in 1980, back in 2005, we had 3 losses in a row going into December. But then we won our last 4 before we became the wild card team that's won 4 straight to win a Super Bowl, being the first 6th seed to ever do it. Now, we're not the 6th seed this time, right? We're the 5th seed, I believe. Right? No, we're the 6th seed. That's right, because there's one below us, 7th seed, and Chargers are the 5th seed now. So yeah, so we're the 6th seed again. So it can't happen. 7th seed's never done it yet, only because the playoffs have just started with 7 seeds last year. But moving forward, we did back in. I heard the lights. That's 1 beat for each loss as we got into the playoffs. It's a good thing we clinched early. Michael Hall. Pickens is slowly turning into AB. If not, he's already there. No, he's had no off-season problems yet. Yeah, he's a malcontent on the field, does dumb stuff on the field, and I will argue he's probably done dumber things on the field than AB, other than AB ripping off all his clothes and walking off the field. Throwing a Gatorade jug out of the field. That's pretty much his only on-field stuff. You know, kicking the guy and kicking the punter or the kick returner in the chest, or the punter in the chest as he's running it back, isn't really an on-field issue as much as it was a play that he just got excited for. But George Pickens, the stuff that he does outside of the whistles, even between the whistles when he's blocking, or jumping on somebody after the play, he's doing dumb stuff. And that's the stuff that gets us penalties. So I would argue on the field, George Pickens is worse than AB at getting us penalized and costing his team. Because AB rarely got us penalized on the field for his on-field actions. Number 1 Boz fan, great freaking name, by the way. Congratulations to Boz for being the first Pittsburgh Steeler ever since 1933 to lead the NFL in points. Congratulations, Boz. Obviously off the charts in the amount of points he put up in Fantasy League with all the plus 50 field goals that he set and put through those bars for all you guys to win your weeks. Congratulations, Boz. Congratulations on your Pro Bowl nod. You're probably the All-Pro as well. I will bet that Boz is the All-Pro this year. Michael Hall, do we still have Haley on speed dial? Man, we haven't had an offense since Haley. How about that, Michael Hall? Since Haley was our last offensive coordinator, though you have to also realize and put it in perspective, Haley statistically was the best offense coordinator the Steelers ever had. Ever. We were a top 3 offense with Haley. Oh, the bubble screens. We were a top 3 offense with Haley. Oh, quick slants. We were a top 3 offense with Haley. Sometimes it's better to stick with a guy that the fans don't like, but he wasn't a likable guy. He rubs people the wrong way, and that's why we got rid of him. John in Pittsburgh, way to see you again, my friend. Welcome back there, Ron. Burgundy remembers. Yeah, we know. We know you remember that too, the mid-'80s teams. Robert, can we hold a raffle and have some random fan call the plays Saturday? Just treat it like a Pro Bowl. Have the fans call the play. Run into the stands. Hell, I'll call a better game. I will honestly call a better game than Smith. Because I know what a slant is. I know what a cross is. I know what crossing drags are on the field. Inexcusable that we don't run any of them. Inexcusable. Everything's either a seam route or a sideline route. That's it. Got to be better. Did Dante Jackson play versus the Bengals? No, he did not. We started Pierre. I saw Trice on the field a lot because they were trying to get the size match up with Trice on T. Higgins. But he will be playing this week, Boss fan. Put that down in your journal. He's a full participant today. He can't wait to get back. His back is back, and he's back to play on Saturday. Watch it. Here it comes. Robert, defense held the Bengals to 19 points. That's not too bad. Absolutely not. You're right. I need to take a step back on shredding the defense for holding the Bengals to 19 points. You're right. Absolutely right. Just our offense can't score 20. We're back to the offense that can't score 20. Matt Canada, Randy Fichtner, Smith, the offense that can't score 20. Russell was doing it for us his first 4 starts. Offense that can't score 20. That's what we are now. We got to win a game 12-15. That's how it's got to be again. We got to win a low-scoring game because I don't see us putting up 30 on the Ravens. They're a much better defense now that they did all their switching. Hamilton, free safety. He's making all the plays back there now. They're a lot stronger back there against the pass. They were horrible against the pass until that switch. Horrible. That's the way it goes. Ciao, ciao. Finally, you're back. A lot of vacations, my friend. It was a bad 2-week window. It really was. But I got to spend my first Christmas in warm weather in sunny Florida. Thank you, Mom, Pop John, opening up the pool for us specifically. We were the first people to use the pool in their new house, first people to use the hot tub in their new house. Had a great time. I don't know how I will be able to celebrate Christmas without a pool and a hot tub ever again. That might be where I have to go every year now. And then we went to West Virginia after that to see my wife's family. So it's been quite the run. But I'm back. I'm back. I am happy to be back. And you're happy to lose to the Bengals. Knock it off. Meow, meow. Oh, you knock it off, cat. Keep rubbing it in with Joe, Tiger Joe, Tiger King Joe. Boss fan. You didn't answer my question. Do you think Tomlin gets fired if it's a blowout? Oh, I didn't see that question. I did not see that question. Do you think Tomlin gets fired if it's a blowout? I still don't think Tomlin's on the hot seat. I really don't. But I don't see how you can keep the offensive coordinator if we can't put up 20 points against the Ravens. I just don't see it. Is it ready? Is it time that he's done? I mean, what are we in season 18 now for Tomlin? That's more seasons than Cowher. Did the same thing Cowher did, made it to 2 Super Bowls, won one, lost one. To me, watching Tomlin, he's into it. He's excited about the process, and the Hard Knocks is showing us that. He's invested. He wants to win. That's all he cares about. We're just not winning. This is a bad stretch. So do you fire your coach because of that bad stretch? Or do you start bringing in other offense coordinator? Or does Smith need another year? That's what I want to ask you, Boss Fan. Do you think Smith needs another year to try to fully show what he can do, to maybe get a fullback in there and show what a rushing offense can look like? Maybe draft his running back to show what his offense could look like? That's another question, and that's a good discussion. That's why I love this show, because it gives us things to think about that we normally don't. Chow. You could just take the play sheets and use a randomizer. Wasn't that in, like, I think that's in the coaching, when you go the coaching path on Madden and you're playing Madden and you don't want to call every play, you just call the Madden play. And then it runs the Madden play. Like, you're not actively moving the controls on anyone. You just call the plays. And back in the day, we used to think that kind of stuff was fun. I think you could do that on one of the Tecmo Bowls too. Just do a coaching route. But yeah, that was it. That was it. Yeah, that I definitely think a randomizer would do better than what he's been doing. Andre, was Haley a better coordinator than the Steelers had even back during the 70s Super Bowl run? Yes. And it's only because of the ranking within the rest of the league. Actually, I might be able to look up the rankings here. Steelers all-time offense. Stats. And it should be on Pro Football Reference. Trying to find the team stats. Points, offensive ranking. Here we go. Points, yards, and then defensive ranking. So, back when we had Haley, we were 4th and we were 7th in the league. And then 8th and 6th. So we had some good rankings. Now I'm going to go back through 90s. It looks like we were 5th in 1995. That was when we made the Super Bowl. I know we had a big rushing attack that year. Going back to the 70s. Oh, I stand corrected. You're right. You're 100% right. We were number 4 in offense in 73. 5 in offense in 72, 75, 76, and 78. But number 1 in offense in 1979, the year we won the Super Bowl. Also happened to be, that's number 1. Yeah, number 1 in offense for ranking for both points and yards. Number 5 in yardage, in points for defense, number 2 in yardage for offense that year. So the number back then, they would have called that the number 1 and number 1 offense and number 2 defense to win the Super Bowl back in 1979. Had a great team that year. So yes, I stand corrected. Let me see if it was in points. We had number 2 in points, number 3 in points, number 3 in points, and number 4 in points under the Haley years. So now that I'm doing points on the other side, even with those 5s and 4s, we were 11th in points with a 4th ranked offense. We were number 4 with a 7th ranked offense in 1977. So outside of that number 1 in points in 1979, our best years were under Haley. For scoring points in 2018, 2017, 2015, and 2014. That was it. Those were our guys. Or those were our years. And then Fichtner happened. And then Canada happened. And then Smith happened. So yes, I have no problem saying I'm wrong. And thank you very much, too, for adding to the conversation to make me make sure to look it up to have it correct for all of us here. That's why we have the smartest fans over here on Stryker's Inside Slant. Thanks, Andre. John! Haley was good at taking what the opponent would give you. But Ben didn't like him because he didn't want to throw long every play. Well, that seemed like more of an Arians offense. Arians was throwing long every play, and they brought in Haley specifically to extend Ben's career to get the ball out quicker. So that was a different offense than what Arians was running. Dreadlock 99. Hey, Stryker. Good to hear from you, Dreadlock. How's your crew doing, my friend? I've only seen you so far. Tim Burrow hasn't been on the show. Hey, Stryker, my man. Hey, do you think the defense will be looking for Fields to run the ball, which will mean Fields will have to drop back and complete a couple passes first. I am fine with Fields throwing anyway. I want him to be utilized to the fullest extent of his quarterback prowess. And so far, every time we brought him in, he's run. So right now, he looks like a hill in New Orleans. We want him to be multifaceted. And I agree with you, Dreadlock. That's what I want to see. Chow chow. Defense did that while on the field nearly 3/4 of the game. The time they were on the field was wild. Yes, they did have a good game. They did. Chow chow. I'm sure your folks love to hear that you'll be back every year. Dawn. I know, right? It's like, Mom, I'm going to come back again. I don't know if we want you back. Fortunately, we've got a grandkid for her to play with. Dawn Lillipod. We need to take note of the plays that are successful against our defense and borrow for our own playbook. Geez, toss sweeps, ugh, exactly. Though the toss sweeps can work for specific defenses, they don't work for fast defenses. And I'll tell you one thing, we haven't done a fake toss sweep counter yet. Or a fake sweep keeper. Because everybody's running to the toss side in this offense. Everybody. Other side's wide open. Absolutely. Dreadlock, do the Jets want Smith for head coach? Fingers freaking crossed. Because that would be the best way to get rid of him. To make it so we don't have to look like the bad guy. Scott! How you been, Scotty? Man, it's been a while. Steelers need to come out throwing the laces off the football. It would be nice to see them come out with the play action pass on first down with the ball down for at least 12 yards. They'll have to stop Baltimore from scoring on their first 2 scripted drives, making the game uncomfortable for the Ravens and especially Lamar. Make the game feel like nothing is going to be easy. Chip the pass rushers on offense and play more man coverage. Blitz the heck out of Lamar, but don't overdo. Exactly. That's the game plan usually that we utilize to beat Lamar. Rush him, put pressure on him, but don't over pursue. And we keep him contained, make him beat us with his arm. We did the same thing to Hurts, and Hurts hurt us bad with his arm. Second time, Lamar actually hurt us too, because he started running some of those Hurts plays. Because Philadelphia figured out a way to beat us. Ian, I've been talking about you earlier today. We've been talking about mid to late 80s Pittsburgh Steelers football and how our offense looks just like it. Hey, Stryker, that game was nerve-wracking. 2 turnovers, we could not produce points. And that's the problem with this team right now. We're still putting balls on the ground. 2 to 3 times a game, we're getting those fumbles on the ground. Only difference now, we're not landing on them. The opponent is landing on their own fumbles. We haven't gotten it. It's been hurting us because we are a team that lives and dies by the turnover, and we're still generating opportunities for turnovers, especially on special teams. And it is huge if you can get a special teams fumble on kick or punt because it means you have excellent field position off of those. I'm having my first drink of the show. Steeler Nation, join me in a salute to the Steelers. I'm drinking a Lefroy Galore that I got. Don't know what it's aged, but it's a tasty one. It's not as smoky as the 10. I'm enjoying it. So slancha to all you Steeler Nation. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Let's have a drink because we need it. That's a delicious one right there. And I know you're a whiskey drinker there too, Cooley, so you can tell me what you're having. Guys, I'm going to go over to Steeler Nation here, go through their questions, let you guys ramp up your questions a bit before I come on back to you, because we had a couple questions over there. Confluence had a bunch he had for us here. Which is worse for the Steelers? Dan Moore continually underperforming at left tackle, or Minka Fitzpatrick having almost no positive impact on the Steelers' D, or the inexplicable lack of snaps for Mike Williams, or Tomlin's inability to win meaningful games, playoffs, for the last decade. Thanks. Number 1 for me, Dan Moore. You put it down as your first. You're damn right that's number 1. And for the life of me, I do not know how Minka Fitzpatrick is a starter in the Pro Bowl after watching him this year. He is not Pro Bowl caliber. Absolutely not. He's a good player. He's a team player. He's doing the things that are trying to help us be better. But he's not as impactful as Hamilton is over there in Ravenland for moving over to free safety. Not nearly as impactful. Not getting to any of the plays. Had one interception a couple games ago, first of the year. That's it. That's all he's done. That hurts. Mike Williams does need more snaps. With you on that too. Tomlin can win big games. He has won Super Bowl in the past. He's gotten a Super Bowl in the past. Gotten his AFC Championship games. Not all on him, but yeah, that Dan Moore thing is killing us. Absolutely. What did he rack up? 4.5, 3.5 sacks last week off of his side, making frickin' Myles Garrett look like a frickin' all-pro this year when he was stoning them in the previous 3 years. This is your last year, Dan Moore. We're done with you. Absolutely done with you. So, yes, Dan Moore is the worst confluence. Thank you so much for the question. Let's see. Next question we have here. Blitz, what did the Jets and Bears see that has them interviewing Smith for head coach? Well, Smith is a head coach in this league. He was the head coach down in Tennessee. He took Tennessee to an AFC championship with a crap quarterback. Got us to the playoffs. Got us there early. So this is something that the Jets would love to do. This is something that the Bears would love to do. Get to the playoffs. Smith is a playoff coach. Let me see how else he was doing there with Tennessee. Quickly, since I have the window open on my stats. He was in Atlanta too. He's the offense coordinator at Tennessee when they made the conference championship under Vrabel. That's right. So he does have some ability there. He was in Atlanta last year. For the last couple years. Obviously did not make the playoffs, but had two middling 7-10 seasons in 21 and 22. I actually have to look up their 2023 record to see if they did better. Atlanta Falcons 2023. And let's see what they were. Here they go. There we go. They were 7-10 all 3 years. That's as average as you can do. So, I think that a lot of the league is trying to move toward a power-oriented offense. I think the Jets need to get away from Aaron Rodgers and move to a more power-oriented offense because that's going to be the way that they're going to start being able to move the football. And do a little better against some of those teams in their division that do have great quarterbacks. Tua is a great one. Of course, the best one is Allen. So that's a tough division to win in if you don't have a quarterback. Your only other option is to be the best running offense you can be. That's your only other option. Next question here. By Fiji Mariner. Thank you, Fiji. Last question we got over here at SteelerNation.com football forum. Free to join. Go to SteelerNation.com. Sign up. Join the conversation. Fiji Mariner. Why the hell they keep starting Van Jefferson when Mike Williams looks far more talented? I don't know. I'm flabbergasted. Van Jefferson, he's starting to make more plays, but still as an X, he's only still making 2 plays a game. When an X is supposed to be making 8 to 10 plays a game, not good enough. What is the reasoning behind getting the Atlanta rejects? Pruitt, CP, and Van as many snaps as they get? Are other players really untalented enough to justify that? I just think it's more of a love from Smith to utilize those players. Pruitt is a heck of a special teams player as well. And I see he's getting more passes downfield. Really, Connor disappeared this year. Where has Connor Hayward been? He was a talented guy that could make plays, get us a spark. We're not utilizing Connor Hayward at all. He's getting penalties every time he comes on the field. So I think that's maybe why Pruitt's getting a couple more snaps. Have to see. And your last question, Fiji, is this team wants to be run team. Why no fullback? I can think of at least 5 players that are less useful than a true fullback. I think that is the big question we're going to have to ask moving into next season. If we continue with Smith as our coordinator, does fullback become a targeted player for us to have. Obviously, it's a player you can get in free agency, unrestricted, undrafted free agency as well. Good players to be had there without having to give up anything or even draft capital for a guy like that. John, coming back to you guys to finish off the show. Looks like Mark Malone and Walter Abercrombie out there. Yeah, and Malarkey playing tight end. Those were the days. I remember back in the 80s. Scott Atkins, welcome to the show. Facebook, thank you for being on here. How about having Pickens and Williams on the field and look to make and a lot to make the Ravens cover? Bring Austin over the middle. They must get the ball to Pickens in space and in stride like Rudolph did in the first game with Pickens. Why does every ball have to be contested sideline catch? Tear up the seam with Freiermuth down the middle of the field. That's a good game plan. Absolutely. I agree with that. Also, my problem with Russ Wilson right now is he stopped throwing his players open. He stopped throwing balls to spots. Now he's waiting for players to come open before he throws. And he's getting sacked because of it. You got to change that, Russ. That one's hurting us. Robert! We've been talking about you, man. I've been talking up some 1980s Steelers because I know you remember them too, how bad those offenses were. But glad to have you back, my friend. Hey, Stryker. Tim, let me know you were on. I was over there listening to Mike Drop Sports where your doppelganger has a Steeler show. Nice. Not as handsome as me, though, I hope. Robert, when all year long Mike Tomlin has not been calling timeouts when he should, and then questionable times he does a cold timeout, why do you keep insisting that he has great clock management? I cannot defend him in these past 2 weeks. I can't. But up until then, I can. I definitely can. I don't know why we aren't going for it on fourth downs now in certain situations at end game when otherwise we've lost the game if we punt, especially on fourth and short. I don't care where it is on the field. Though we got to have Fields running them now as opposed to Russell Wilson. That's what I have to talk about. Mike, when Mike Williams, it's clearly better than Van Jefferson, and Tomlin doesn't insist on Mike Williams being there, wide receiver 2, then why are you not blaming coaching? Oh, I can blame coaching for that. That's got to be on Smith as well. It's his personnel that he's trotting out there for offense. But we got to put him out there on the field more. And what we're all hoping for, since you've been missing the show so far, we're hoping for Roman Wilson to be activated off of IR since he's been practicing fully last week, and he's practicing fully again this week. Because if you got to use the kid, now's your last chance. And that guy can get open. Michael Hall, I expect Queen to go off against the Ravens like he did last time, as well as the Mink. Fingers crossed, Mike, because that's what we need. We need big plays by people that care to make plays. And our defense is making plays. Our defense is putting balls on the ground. Just the other team is inexplicably falling on all of these forced fumbles. I think our last 6 forced fumbles the other team has fallen on, which is crazy. Like that's outside of the realm of possibility and statistical aberrations right now. So hopefully we can get a few. Robert, got to say it again. Russ and Fields on the field together. Fake run one way with Fields and reverse it the other way will be wide open, or a quick slant to the other side of the field. Yeah, we've been waiting for it all year. Our only problem is Fields has been hurt since the Ravens game. But if we're going to run it and we have plays for it, this is the only time you can run it. This is the only time in Steeler history where you can have Fields and Russ Wilson on the field at the same time, because they will not both be on the field next year. We will be keeping one. And I was saying before on my last podcast before the 2 weeks, before the dreaded, terrible 2 weeks with 3 losses, I was leaning toward Wilson. Now I'm leaning back to Fields. I want to run first offense. This Russell looks like the game is starting to pass him by. So unless he can put it together here for a 4-game insane run for the playoffs, like Flacco did it in 13, we're looking at another out in the playoffs and another quick out. Ian, we have to do a better job of converging and putting them in third and out situations. Limit the penalties and turnovers on our end. Moore needs to do a better job or give someone else a shot. Actually, we just need to give Moore some help. We need to give Moore help. We need a chip on his side. At least on the Ravens, they don't have as good a pass rushers as Cincinnati, as Cleveland. Roquan Smith is the game breaker right there at linebacker. But those guys aren't going to kill you as much as we get hurt on the other side of the league. But honestly, Moore's time is over on this team. You're going to be watching. If we lose this week, it's Moore's last game as a left tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's one guy I would not bring back in free agency. He's not worth any money. Somebody will give him a contract. Somebody will probably give him way more than we consider paying him because he is a starting left tackle in the NFL. But he's not a great starting left tackle in the NFL. He's an average starting left tackle in the NFL. Robert, when both Minka and Deshaun Elliott both run to the opposite side of the field and leave Trace alone on an island, how is that not scheming problem for the Steelers? Definitely have been making incredibly terrible decisions on defense because defense, as we all know, is a team goal. And if everybody is not doing their job, you get exposed and big plays happen. And we've been getting exposed horribly. Like, this is taking me back to like Gronk games where the tight end is wide freaking open. Every play. Jazeki, every play. Kelsey, every play. Good thing that freaking Njoku was hurt last time we played him. Otherwise, he would have been open every play. Best player on the field, and we don't cover him? Dating the most popular girl in the world, and we don't cover him? That's what we got to get to. We got to cover him like his girlfriend at night. Instead, he's wide open like her legs. Come on. Got to do better. That's why this is a comedy show. Robert, to make excuses for the NFL rules have changed to defense can't tackle like they should, and other teams tackle better than the Steelers isn't dealing with the truth, just making up excuses, right? You're hilarious. Telling you, the entire league sucks at tackling. We do better than most teams. I don't know how much NFL you watch, but there's a lot of big wide open plays in the NFL that happen against other defenses. Not as much as it happens against us, but these last 4 games, we've been horrific at stopping anything. Got to change. 7-10. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you helping me look that up. If I remember right, the Steelers secondary was missing key players the last Ravens game. Yes. If they are healthy again, Lamar will not be able to pass as well as he did. You're right. Elliott and Jackson were out that last game. You're 100% correct, Robert. Thank you for bringing us back in line. We will have Jackson back. We will have Elliott back. We will have, of course, Minka playing. Minka has been playing better in recent weeks, but I don't think he's a Pro Bowler. I don't think he's a Pro Bowler this year, though he got in on name alone. Oh, yeah, Minka Fitzpatrick, starter. Starter, really? I'd put Hamilton over him any day of the week, especially at free safety now. Ian, on offense, we need to get open the playbook a little bit more chunk plays. O-line needs to do way better. O-line definitely needs to do better, and it starts and ends at Moore. Moore, I'm looking at you, Dan Moore. We need more out of you, Moore. We've gotten so much less out of Moore, I cannot help it. We need more. Robert, need 1 yard. Put Fields in or be creative. Make Benton running back eligible or just toss the ball to Washington to move forward. Steady gives our smallest running back down the middle. Poor play calling, right? There's no excuse not to have Fields on the field except their Fields is hurt. Now he's back and healthy. So, yeah, we should have him in there. He was more healthy last week. Should have been in there on the 3rd and 4th and 1s that everybody's calling down in the league. We're the only team where everybody calls down the field. Oh, yeah, that's not first down. Only team I see it happen against. Everybody else they don't care about. Still, oh, no, it's not a first down. Usually other teams have to throw flags. Nope, don't have to against the Steelers. Don't have to. Scott, everyone gives the Steelers no chance, and that's exactly what this team needs to hear. As great as TJ Watt and Minka Fitzpatrick have been in their careers, they have never won a playoff game. Championship players make plays, and it isn't always schemed for them to do so. Unscripted Minka and TJ need to show up and hawk the ball away from the Ravens. Love it. Exactly. That's exactly what needs to happen, Scott. Completely agree with you. Chow, chow, Dad. Russ is missing seeing open receivers and making bad decisions all over the field. Is he getting gun shy with the offensive line, or do you think there's another issue? It's completely offensive line. You can watch it. You can watch him when he's staring at Moore, missing a block, and then just does this. Here, I'll do it from the side view because this is what it looks like on the field. You ready? Gets a snap. That's what I see. That's Russell Wilson. Last 3 weeks. Gets a snap, slowly starts to bend over. Doesn't even look down. Can't see down the field if you're bending over. Taking it in the rump. I don't know what the heck's going on. You need to be better, Russ. You got less days ahead of you in the league than you do behind you. But damn, make those games ahead of you count. Don't put your head down already. You're not retired yet. Tamburo, why Steelers commenters say Steelers get a third-round pick for trading Common when retired Sean Payton. They just gave a first and second and the third-round draft pick for just last year? You're saying the Steelers traded away a first, second, and third-round draft pick from last year? No, I know we gave away a fourth-round draft pick for one of our players. Was it Elliott? And then the other draft pick that we gave away for this upcoming year was for Fields. I guess it's a fifth-round draft pick for Elliott, I think. Either Elliott or Jackson. Jackson, that's it. It was no, Jackson was the trade. We traded that for Deontay Johnson. So, yeah, I think Elliott might have been the one who we had to give up a player for. But it would have been Fields for either a fourth or a sixth. Since he didn't meet the qualifications of hitting 51% of the snaps, we're only going to give up a sixth-round player. We maintain our fourth-rounder. So we still have all of our day one picks, all of our day two picks, and our fourth-rounder going into this draft, but we don't have that fifth and sixth. We'll have to see what else moved around. Actually, I have a draft tracker here that I'll look up for us quickly while we're on the show. That way we'll know exactly what we're at. And I'll give you guys the website for this too. I use it for my draft show. And it's really nice way to kind of like track and see, oh, site's not available anymore. Damn it. Of course it's gone. Well, let's see if my backup one's still up. All right. NFL Scouting Convoy, professional football, future draft pick status. I think that's the one. Yep. Future draft pick status. Here we go. I can look it up exactly for 2025. And like I said, we have our first four picks. No problems. Round 5. We did. Oh, sorry. Round 5 we gave up for Mike Williams, not for Elliott. Elliott was a free agent. But we did give the Jets a fifth rounder at the trade deadline. Thank you very much for putting that back in my brain. Now I remember it. So there was another Rams trade that happened. And it looks like that's the pick that we traded. Or do we have a fifth? Because the Steelers had a trade with the Rams when they traded for Kevin Dotson. They got a 2024 fifth round pick, 2025 sixth round pick to the Rams for 2024 fourth round pick, and 2025 fifth round pick. And that's the one that we traded to the Jets. So right now, I think we do have a fifth round pick because it's said we gave both fifth round picks to the Jets and we definitely didn't. So I'm thinking we still have a fifth round pick. Steelers traded their conditional pick, of course, to the Bears. Commanders may be giving us a 2025 conditional 6th-round pick for that William Jackson the third, for a conditional 7th-round pick, or it might be a 6th. Yeah, this is confusing to see. But, and the Kendrick Green pick involves a trade, possible 6th-rounder. So we have to see how all these conditional picks pan out. 7th-rounder may not transfer. We have one already. Pick may not transfer to the Vikings or the Packers. We got a bunch that we may be getting from the Eagles or the Falcons or the Packers. We'll have to see how these trade out, because it's very confusing the way it's written, because it hasn't been finalized, because we're not close to draft. But at least we have our first 4 picks, and we figured out Mike Williams was the 5th-rounder. Fields will be the 6th-rounder that we lose. But it looks like we have multiple 5th rounds possibly, and maybe multiple 6th-round picks. So we might be getting them back. Raymond Vance, we will get it done. Don't ask me how. Just stay tuned. And if you stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, and don't live in the Pittsburgh area to be able to watch the game locally, make sure you got your Amazon Prime account all paid up, because Steelers are on Amazon Prime. What? Steelers have been on Netflix, Amazon Prime. What are we going to be, a Lifetime Network? Please be on Lifetime Network. Just play us on Lifetime Network at Christmas on a very special Lifetime Network adventure. You have Russell Wilson, the aging vet, coming to a new city, eyes aglow. It's Christmas morning, playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. His love is there, the love of winning. But will he be able to make it happen against that great Kansas City Chiefs team? Find out on the Hallmark Channel, Christmas Day. I hate all these channels are putting games on. Absolute crap. Emmanuel, start Fields. Well, it might be our starter next year. Robert, Tomlin's raw model. They got 2 first-round draft picks and 2 second-round draft picks and millions of dollars. Oh, for getting rid of Tomlin. Oh, I got what you're saying. I got you. Yeah, all that for trading Tomlin. I could see them getting that draft capital too. I could see them getting 2 firsts and 2 seconds for trading Tomlin, because we've already seen two firsts get given for a coach before. Definitely a first. But yeah, with his ability in the league, could get a lot of draft capital. If Peyton and Gruden and Parcells all were traded for more than just a first-round pick, then why not Tomlin too? He's in that class. Can't argue with that. Chow Chow. I hope Queen has a better game. He was agreeing to show, he was starting to show promise, but got trucked against the Bengals. Did not play well against the Bengals, and I'll agree with that. But he did play well against the Baltimore Ravens. Have a good night, Stryker. Have a good one, Ian. Great to hear from you, my friend, as always. Stryker says, Tomlin isn't still calling defense when all the guys that are in the locker room who report on Steelers say Tomlin, and 100% is still the one who calls the defense, is not Austin. That's what you're saying. 1980 Steelers never went 7 consecutive years without winning a playoff game. So what has Tomlin done worse than the 1980s? We're just talking about offense, dude. Don't have to hit us where it hurts. Scotty, Steelers need 1 win this Saturday to change the trajectory of this team and this organization. Winning heals all wounds in the NFL, and it's time for a win in the playoffs again. And I agree. It is time. Easy on my man, Stryker Timbero there. Dreadlock. Love you, Tiger. You can be on my chat anytime. You know that. Corey, we should go with Fields for the fact that it's going to be snowing and windy conditions from what I'm hearing. Russ is not a good cold weather quarterback. Fields is better equipped for, he's played in freezing weather at Ohio State and with the Bears. I like that. I like that thought. Tomorrow, if Tomlin is a good coach, then why didn't he switch quarterbacks in the second half of the last game? Well, he tried switching quarterbacks in that first Ravens game. That's when his Fields' abdominal injury hit, and he hasn't been 100% since. I think he's going to be 100% for this game, and I will agree with you that it's going to be a problem for not moving the football and Fields doesn't get on the field. Dreadlock. There's a necktie for that. Robert, Tomlin purges any coaches who he has who the players love more than him, as Dick LeBeau and Bruce Arians. Tomlin lied, said retired, and then lied when he said We'll get back to it. Pat Moyer gone. Offensive line developed lack of. Yeah, I'm not happy with the way the offensive line has been developed. Other than actually, I can't be upset with the way the rookies are playing at center and right guard. I think they're doing well. I think Jones is doing well other than his penalties. Samalu's good player. But my problem is the Steelers playing offensive players out of position, not necessarily Meyer, but in previous years, having Dotson playing left guard instead of right guard, where he's a natural right guard. Having Green playing center instead of left guard, he's a natural left guard. That was the square peg round holes that I have a problem with. Now, Jones being right tackle instead of left tackle, which is his natural position, is the only thing I can pin on Meyer. Robert, Mike Munchak, more love than Tomlin. Tomlin doesn't bring him in back to the O-line. Kevin Green and Hines Ward repeatedly asked Tomlin to be staff. He's afraid of coaches under him more like than he. I think that's a false narrative. I really do think that's a false narrative. I could go down and pick down all of them, but I have at the end of the show. We'll have that in an earlier show on another time. Others, Randall Anton asked Tomlin to coach. Tomlin says no likable guys that lack how great the Lions' coaching staff has been with coaches Tomlin and no, he was Steelers legend. Well, we did have Joey Porter on the team. I mean, it's not like he's avoiding people. Michael Hall, should there be a close game like always? That being said, I'll see you next time, Stryker. Go Steelers as always. Well, it wasn't a close game the last time we played them. I hope it's much closer this time. Really do. Steelers doing better than most teams, and tackling is unacceptable for the highest paid defense in NFL history for 3 years straight. They had a good coaching, then they would be number one in everything. They would be. They didn't have all those injuries. They would be. Here's starting the playoffs with the first opening drive for a touchdown this season. Fingers freaking crossed, Robert. I would love for that. Love for that. Point is, I hate Mike Tomlin. We know, Robert. Hate the NFL money-grubbing douchebags. Leave the games on broadcast TV. Exactly. Mike, hashtag trade Michael Petaway Tomlin. Nice, man. Saying Sean Payton was in retirement and then was traded for a first and a +1, second +1, third-round draft pick. So why can't the Steelers get that sort of deal for Mr. Tomlin? They should be able to get a, especially with the con artist, if they chose to go that route, they would get a huge, huge deal for Tomlin. Guys, that's all the time I got on my show. Thank you so much for coming out. I apologize for the 2-week hiatus. Thank you guys for being still so energetic and with great questions, great comments, great ideas. I know I give you a hard time, Taburo. You know I love you, my friend. But that's all the time I got on my show. Please be sure to follow us at SteelerNation.com and on our platforms, Instagram and Facebook at SteelerNation.com, over on X at SteelerNation, or follow me at SN Stryker on most platforms while TikTok still exists. Who knows what's going to happen there. I'm going to finish off with you guys. It's your show. Corey Frank, Stryker, the number one thing that bugs me the most is that why do we always run on first and second down? I swear, when we do this, our whole entire game plan, it's scripted, is I'm right or wrong. We should throw the ball the first 5 plays, no matter what, to get the defense thinking. Well, we started doing that in the Denver game when on the Super Bowl run with Roethlisberger, when everybody thought we were just going to keep handing off and running, throw, and he threw for like 3 touchdowns in the first half. That game was over before the second half started. Yeah, that could be a good game plan. I'd like that. Robert, I'm starting to think Taburo doesn't like Mike. Great show, Stryker. Thanks, Robert. I appreciate it, man. See ya, Dreadlock. See ya. I love you guys so much. Dudes! And that's all the time I got on my show. I'm Steeler Nation Stryker, along with Dreadlock 99 Tiger, rooting along with you as